If you're really feeling like reality is shifting beneath your feet, if you feel as if the fog has lifted, if you're sensing that something profound is happening but you can't quite put your finger on it, you are now entering in the time of the greatest transformation, in the eye of one of the most significant cosmic transformations in millennia. Today is February the 20th, 2026, and this is a very moment when Saturn and Neptune are meeting at 0 degree of Aries, which is the creator degree. And it's the first time in this exact degree in thousands of years. 2000. We're also suspended in the middle of an eclipse portal, 3 days past the revolutionary Aquarius solar eclipse on February the 17th, and 11 days away from the total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March the 3rd. You are living through a cosmic initiation that your soul chose to be here. This week is about change. This week is about transformation. Next week, it'll also be about a transformation. It is a portal of initiation where you will see your life and the lives around you be transformed. I'm Claire Falcon, and I've been studying the language of the stars for over 20 years, working with clients worldwide to understand how celestial movements guide our soul's evolution. Remember, you are above the stars. They are but an energy frequency that your soul can hear, can sense, and can feel, giving you a little bit of a nudge, giving you a little bit of advice about where to move. I'm recording this today, February the 20th, because I need you to understand what's happening right now in this moment. Not what's coming, but what is. The chrysalis has cracked open. We are entering into a new moment, and you're being asked to hold steady in your heart while everything around you transforms. This is not chaos for chaos's sake. This is about something that is transforming from an old way of doing something. An old way is dissolving, and a new one is being born. I've witnessed a lot in my years of studying the stars, and what's unfolding right now is really a theme and a frequency that will carry us in 2026. In our time together today, I'm going to take you deep into two interconnected cosmic events that are creating this threshold moment. First, we'll explore the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degree of Aries, the spiritual mechanics of how this works, what it means for humanity's evolution, and how to work with this once-in-millennia energy for your own soul's journey. Then we'll navigate this deeply powerful eclipse portal we're currently in, what's happening energetically in this liminal space between the two eclipses, and how to move through these next 2 weeks with grace, intention, and love. This isn't theory. This is real-time guidance for the transformation you and I are living through right now. So let's begin with what's happening today, in this moment. Saturn and Neptune are meeting in exact conjunction at 0 degree and 44 minutes of Aries. I need you to understand something. This specific configuration hasn't really occurred in this precise degree in many thousands of years. We're talking about a cosmic event that hasn't happened since ancient civilizations. It's not just another transit, it's a threshold for human consciousness itself. Let me explain a little bit of the deeper spiritual mechanics of what's actually happened. Saturn is the architect of reality. He's often jokingly referred to as the old man of the zodiac. But it's a planetary force that takes what exists in the realm of pure potential and crystallizes it into a matter form, into a three-dimensional form. Think of Saturn as the master builder. He kind of gets a bad rap, but as master builders go, you want someone that is forthright, has a lot of experience, and is willing to tell it like it is. Now, ask yourself these questions. What are you willing to commit to? What structures are you willing to build? Where is your integrity? And what are you willing to show up for every single day? Saturn doesn't really deal in wishful thinking. It deals in the spirit and the nature of discipline, what is required to make dreams real. Neptune, on the other hand, is the mystic, the dreamer, the bridge between human consciousness and collective universal consciousness itself. It's a beautiful, effervescent, ethereal energy. It dissolves boundaries, it connects us to compassion and unconditional love, and reminds us that we are deeply celestial, spiritual beings, temporarily having a human experience. Neptune asks you these types of questions. What does your soul know to be true? What vision is living in your heart? What connection to the divine are you willing to embody? Neptune really doesn't care about practicality. It cares about vision, the dream, the energy, and what wants to be born from the spiritual realms. Now, these might sound like very uncommon bedfellows. But when they come together, something extraordinary becomes possible. We get the alchemical marriage of dream and form, of vision and structure, of the invisible becoming visible. This is the power to really get behind your spiritual visions and make them a material reality. When we come to this planet, when we come to Earth for a human incarnation, the very core lesson of bringing energy into matter, bringing your celestial soul energy into a physical body, is one of the primary lessons that we come here to learn. This is what also makes this conjunction really historic. This 0 degree of Aries that I've been talking about, it's what astrologers call the world axis. This is the very first degree of the zodiac. The very first degree of the very first sign of the zodiac. It is pure creative potential energy. It is the cosmic reset button, if you will, and it's the place of pure creative potential where everything can be born anew and begin. Aries is the ram. It is the beginning. It is the pure energetic fire of what it means, almost like a flare coming out of a beautiful ball of sun. If the zodiac were a story, 0 Aries is the first word on the first page. When Saturn and Neptune unite here, they're not just offering personal transformation. They're signaling a whole new chapter in the story of human consciousness and in your soul's own deliberate attempts to raise its consciousness. Now, let me give you some historical and spiritual context here as well. I'm a big fan of the Sabian symbols, and I've been studying them for quite some time. When you look to 1 degree of Aries, and as it goes, little astrology lesson for you here, we always round up when we look at the Sabian symbols. It spells out something really beautiful. A woman has risen out of the water, and a seal is rising and embracing her. They're like these mythical little structures that interpret the entire degrees, the entire transformation of all of the signs, moving through all of them. Really beautiful poetic stuff. So when we think about this, a woman rising out of the water and a seal is rising to embrace her, this speaks to the marriage of the spiritual and the emotional realms with the physical, the emergence from the depths into a new form. Really powerful stuff. It's a really beautiful time to look at all of these things. Now, if you follow my work and if you look on some of my teachings that I become available to people, and certainly if we've connected over the pop-up readings of the eclipse, you know that the Sabian symbol for 29 of Aquarius, again, rounding one up because the solar eclipse was at 28 Aquarius, is something that I know that you will identify and probably are already feeling. This is the Sabian symbol for that. A butterfly emerging from a chrysalis, the capacity to utterly transform the character of one's consciousness. It's paraphrasing something beautiful and deep, which is this is a process of metamorphosis. In spiritual terms, this week, this portal is a massive initiation. That's where we're at, folks. The chrysalis has cracked. We're now giving birth to something new. It feels messy, maybe. It feels like an unknown. At times it's painful, just like a woman giving birth. But the old form and an old world and an old way of thinking is dissolving, and what emerges is going to be new. The conjunction is deeply asking you, what is the vision within your heart that you have been carrying? What are you ready to really get behind the discipline of Saturn and to allow it to bring forth and dive into Neptune's divine inspiration? What are you willing to pioneer with the courage of the Aries warrior, not for aggression, but being out there with your courage, your will, your identity, giving birth to something that has been in your heart? And I need you to also see this within the context of a little bit of a timeline. The energy from May 2025 through January 2026, Saturn and Neptune retrograded back and forth between Pisces and Aries. Aries is the beginning, Pisces is the end. That was our dress rehearsal. If you think back between May of 2025 through January of 2026, you were trying out different versions of who you were becoming. You were experiencing with new spiritual identities. You were asking yourself, does this feel right in my bones? Is this authentically me? Is this truly aligned with who I am? Now, both planets have station direct, meaning they've come direct and they're now moving forward in Aries for their full cycles. Saturn will stay in Aries until April of 2028 and Neptune until 2039. We're talking long-term transits. The preparation is complete, the threshold is here, and you're ready. Whether or not on a conscious level or personality level, you believe in your readiness. This conjunction is also about really of spiritual leadership and integrity. Saturn represents really established institutions. It has a hierarchical nature and power structure to it. And Neptune really is coming in to dissolve these, to soften boundaries, to reveal what's been hidden beneath the surface. We're already really seeing this play out on the world stage. Traditional authority structures weakening, truth coming to light in really unprecedented and confronting ways. And even people, spiritual ones that we have maybe revered, are really, their integrity is coming into question. But I need you to know this. Just as something is dissolving, a new birth is happening. And it's really happening under the aspect of love and compassion because of some constellations between Jupiter and the North Node. Now, I really need you to get behind what I'm about to say. A new kind of leadership is emerging. Spiritual leadership. And when I speak about leadership, I'm talking about Aries, which is the sign most closely identified with pioneering leaders. It's talking about compassionate leadership with Neptune and Aries. It's talking about leadership that serves the collective rather than the individual power, but it's expressed at your own individual creative will. We are nothing if we don't know who we are. Know thyself is one of the most ancient idioms and understandings that we can get behind. The most important thing with Neptune and Aries, if we were to really bring it down to encapsulate it, is you are no longer needing external validation to live out your spiritual truth. You are called to question, what is the integrity of others? Has it not felt right to you for some time? Do you really need to rely on something that is no longer aligned with who you are? And can you please become your own authority, your own spiritual hero? Let's talk a little bit about this portal and what it means to be in this portal. Suspended in the middle of an eclipse portal, this is a liminal space. Some of you who know and study my work on dreams understand that liminal space from the dream world, just as we're about to wake up, is some of the richest golden nuggets that we can ever come upon. Messages of truth, sometimes confronting, of hope, of understanding. It's just like that liminal space where you and I are at until we meet the next eclipse. It was 3 days ago, February the 17th. We had our solar eclipse. It was the ring of fire in the sky. And now on March the 3rd, we'll experience a total lunar eclipse in Virgo at 12 degrees. We're living in the cosmic gateway, and understanding these energies is really critical. They're like thresholds. They tend to dissolve a dimension of time and space. They come to be times where your psychic sensitivity is going to be really heightened. You're going to feel it in your meditations. You will most definitely feel it in the dream world. And you are going to know that what is maybe not what is going to be birthed, it has an immediate definition, but you're going to start to get really deep downloads about where we are going and what's going to be happening. Now, here's the beautiful thing that you can hold true during this space. And as we guide others, well, let me go on a side quest here. Some of what is happening on the world stage is going to be deeply confronting to individuals who are quite happy to live in a bit of a fog. And I say that with zero judgment. But this is what we need to remember. If you are someone who is spiritually inclined and have had your eyes opened, and you've been a little bit savvy to the world, and you've been willing to look at a few things and look past a few things and look within a few things and look behind a few things, then this is the energetic signature that I'm about to describe is something that you can really hold on to offer compassion to maybe those who weren't quite ready as you were. You could be a bit of a spiritual warrior for yourself and allow that energy and compassion to carry others who maybe weren't quite ready with what's happening on the world stage. And I'm talking about Venus and Pisces, and I'm talking about the conjunction with the North Node and trine to Jupiter that was coming to an exact fortitude during the eclipse. Now, this is a key signature for whatever is being birthed at this moment, is being birthed with the vast capacity of love, of an ever-expanding consciousness, of compassion, of the sacred feminine, even amidst some of the revolutionary fire of the fire horse, not seen since 1966. Some of us weren't even born that are listening to this. Some of you are listening, maybe were born even in that year and you're having that time compact to you now. This is a mantra that I would like you to carry with you through this portal. You are in line with the divine consciousness of love. That's it. That's all you need to emanate. You're not responsible for the awakening of others. You're not responsible for saving them. You don't need any more gurus. You have everything within you to connect to that birthright, which is that you are a divine soul being directly connected to the universal consciousness of love. So how can you best navigate this between space? First, as the signature goes, Aquarius energy is deeply connected to our nervous system. It represents our nervous system. And when we are under enormous pressure with our nervous system, as many of you listening to this would have known and have experienced, we have to come back to a sense of center. And the way to do that is always having an alignment of your energy centers. Now, you have many different nervous centers, right? We learned it in biology of high school. But without getting too technical, the whole reason that you are able to balance your energy is understanding that your body is a metaphysical vessel. And it has certain energy points that are deeply connected to your nervous system and to your endocrine system. When you seek to balance those energy centers, sometimes referred to with individuals as chakras, then you are working with the Aquarius energy and not against it. You are welcoming in an awareness. Aquarius energy is the truth teller. It is the great awakener. And there is an ability to hold that energy. First, when we balance the metaphysical structure, your body is the greatest gift as a soul being. It's designed for physical function and it's designed for metaphysical experiences. And you need a nervous system that is aligned, that is balanced, and has the ability to check in and to align with this energy instead of feeling as if it's coming and gutting on top of us. You can become easily overstimulated. Some of you are going to feel it in the dream world. Some of you are going to be a little bit reactive and scattered. The antidote is this. Fall in love with the fact that you are a divine soul being that has the ability to rebalance the energy structures within your body by thought, by breath, and by simply locking into the mantra of you are a divine soul being. And the energy that flows within your metaphysical structure is one that is anchored in love, that is anchored in the ability that you are a divine soul being that has the ability to regulate. It's behind this truth that you will have the ability to live with the energy instead of feeling if you're coming up against it. Please fall in love with stillness and silence, however you can get it. 2 minutes between dropping off the kids, 3 minutes when you wake up, taking a shower before bed, turning the lights off, and feeling the water shift your brain wave states. Whatever it is for you, hearing the call of the bird in the morning with your coffee, fall in love with a stillness. Many of my students will recognize me always saying, bask in the stillness behind the last breath. This is very powerful, simple, but very effective. Drop into it, close your eyes anytime during the day, a couple times a day. Whatever you can do to bring your energy in alignment and to balance your energy centers, you are giving yourself the gift of being your own spiritual divine soul being, your own spiritual warrior. I want you also to understand that whatever it feels as if is going on the greater outer stage, know that you can be of the greatest service to the collective. Again, that humanitarian Aquarius energy is when you understand that the frequency that you emit is what you will be then greeted with in the world. We are talking about, with Neptune and Aries, spiritual mastery. And that is the way that you do it. As things speed up, go ahead and slow down internally. And the only way out of a reactive, chaotic energy is inside. This is an inside job. So as you walk through this eclipse, and as you try to understand what's going on, you understand that your job is not to control outcomes. Your job is not to control the way people guide this transformation. Your intention is your greatest currency. And if you hold coherence, energy coherence, by using some of the things that I just talked about, the energy will shift all around you. And you will be helping yourself to be a spiritual warrior. And simply by being that self, Aries, that great quintessential understanding of self, you will allow others to be that way as well. The most powerful work can happen when you are able to see how this energy moves through you, through your ability, and through your unique astrology chart. This is why in the life readings that I provide for individuals, psychic readings, is that after a 75-minute session with me, where we look and see the energy moving through your life, where you get a spiritual assessment of what are your soul gifts that you came to do, where you have the ability to ask me as a practicing psychic medium questions you have from the spiritual to the practical. This is the reason why after it, I always provide a 2-page personalized chart where I read the astrology and I use it as a tool to deepen the reading that we have and the reading that we experience together. I've been studying astrology for 20 years, and let me tell you, it is a tool like no other, and it is available to you and is showing up for you. If you want to find out how to do this, go ahead and look in the show notes of this podcast, and you'll see the link to look and see all of the readings that I offer. And finally, before I close today, if you are understanding where you are, and if you are understanding that your soul came very intentionally to this world in this time that we are now, understand that you are halfway there. And that by dipping into the astrology of our times, the way that we can show up for ourselves and for each other is the whole point of having a human experience. So with this love, I tell you, until next time, stay deeply connected to your soul's truth. Take care.